Hari Jai Go Premanande.
Hare Krishna. Can everybody please sit down quickly? We have a limited time here, so we can maximize by hearing and chanting. Also, one request, devotees, you can sit on these, what would you call them? Steps on the left and on the right, but please make sure your feet are not touching them. The devotees here get very upset because this is directly touching, as you can see, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami's Bhajan Kuti is here. So you can sit on them, but don't touch your feet or don't stand on them. So that's a request to all the devotees. Please sit down. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Page 277. Krishna Kirtana Ganandartana Puro Premamritambo Nidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Priyakaro Nirmasaro Pujito Shri Chaitanya Kripavaro Bhubibhuva Bharavahantarako Banderu Pasanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Saddharma Sanstapako Lokanamittakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakoro Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajana Nandena Mataliko Vanderu Patsanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako Shri Gauranga Gunarna Varna Ravido Kalavasandi Apotapana Krintano Tanubritam Govinda Ganamritai Anandamburi Varanayaka Nipuno Kaivalya Nistarako Banderu Pasanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako Japaturnama Sheshamandalapati Shenin Sadatu Chava Dudvadina Ganesha Karunaya Gaupina Kantashrito Gopi Bhavadra Samrita Bilahari Kalola Magno Muhu Banderu Pasanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako Kujat Kokila Hamsa Sarasagana Kirne Mayura Kole Nana Ratna Nibbana Mula Vitapa Shri Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishna Maharnisham Prabhajato Jivarta Doyo Mudha Bande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako Sankhya Purvaka Nagana Nativi Kalavasani Krito Nidrahara Vihara Kari Vijito Chatyanta Dina Chayo Radha Krishna Gunasmiten Madhurima Nandena Samohito Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalago Dattate Kalinda Tanaya Tire Javan Shivate Premod Madhavashara Sheshadasaya Grasto Pramato Sada Gayanto Chakradhare Gunaparam Bhava Vibhuto Mudaha Panderu Pasanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalago Hey Radhe Vrajadeva Ke Chalavite Hey Nanda Suno Kutaha Govardhana Kalpapada Patale Kalindi Vanye Kutaha Goshanta Viti Sarvato Vrajapure Keder Mahavivalo Banderu Pasanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako. One more time. Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako. Gora Premanande Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Vande Shri Krishna Vande Guru Nisha Bhaktan Ishanisha Bhatarakan Tat Prakashansta Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samjakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaurudai Pushpavanto Chitro Shando Tamonudao Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Here we can think about and glorify the six Goswamis, namely, especially Rupa Goswami. We were talking and thinking about Srila Sanatan Goswami when we were at the Shishi Radha Badan Mandir. And here we're the Bhajan Kutir of Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Prabhupada took shelter in this temple before coming to America. In a few minutes, we'll go back on the parikram route here, and just as you go into the temple, take a sharp left. Up the stairs, on the left-hand side, there's Prabhupada's kitchen that he used to cook in when he lived here. And then on the other opposite side, you'll find his quarters. And Prabhupada lived in ecstasy here for nearly 10 years. He mentions this when in the conversation, which is recorded, and you can hear him speaking to a New Yorker. Sounds like a middle-aged woman who's asking a lot of questions to Prabhupada when he first came to New York. For the first year, Prabhupada had very few followers, but some curious people would come and ask questions, and this woman was one of them. I don't know her name, someone probably does. But she's asking various questions, and she asks where he's from. And Prabhupada mentions that Vrindavan is my home. And he said, I did not want to come here, but my spiritual master ordered me to come to the West, so I came. And she was asking about Vrindavan. He said, yes, I miss it very much. I was living there very happily. And then I came to America. And so Prabhupada's residence was here in Vrindavan, and specifically in this temple of Shri Radha Damodar, where he penned his first books, like Easy Journey to Other Planets. He wrote here. And also began the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. These are among his first books that he published. You can see from the Easy Journey to Other Planets, a title that caught my eye when I was looking at the first Back to Godhead magazine I saw. It was advertised there, and I thought, that sounds like a good idea. Considering I was in high school, maybe I'd just take off to another planet. And Srila Prabhupada, although many sadhus stayed in Vrindavan with a vow they would never leave, Prabhupada came and went from here to Delhi. Why? Because he was working on publishing. Although he lived here, he went to various places in Delhi to conduct the business of publishing his books in his Back to Godhead magazine. And this is different. What's more, although he was here in Vrindavan and in ecstasy, he had a view to going to the West. That was burning in his heart. He felt that to fulfill the order of his spiritual master was the ultimate goal of life. He mentions when he read in the commentary of the Bhagavad Gita of the verse of Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana bahushaka hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. One of our acharyas says that this fixity of purpose and one-minded focus that Krishna talks about in this book, as in the Bhagavad Gita, as being necessary for one to make advancement in spiritual life, rather than being bahushaka, one's mind is many-branched. I have many ideas about what I want to do. For many people, Krishna's a thing, but for the devotee, Krishna's the thing. And more specifically, for the devotee, the order, says one of our acharyas in his commentary for that verse, of the spiritual master is the thing. And that was Prabhupada's meditation, to how will I fulfill the order of my spiritual master? And he says, when he was here, he would pray. And Prabhupada mentioned, when you have an order and you're not sure how to fulfill it, you have to pray to Krishna. And Prabhupada gives the verbiage that he used, or that we can use, or the mood of it in any case. He said, how can I do? How can I do? How can I do? He repeats it 3 times. We may attempt to cross the ocean of material existence, and then we may even find an acharya and a bona fide spiritual master and be in line, but then we may feel inept and incompetent. This is the prayer we found from Sanatana Goswami, Jayatam Surato Pangor Mama Manda Mater Gati Matsarvaswa Padambojao Radha Maranamona, saying, I'm lame and ill-advised. I have no qualification whatsoever to enter this exalted path. I didn't even belong here. Who let me in the first place? But I'm praying, how can I do? How can I do? How can I do? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Tesham satadikdanam bhajadam briti purvakam dadami buddhayogam tam yena mamupayanti te. If any sincere person, doesn't matter if you're a man, animal, woman, cat, dog, or snake, if you have sincerity of purpose, then Krishna immediately responds. In fact, the whole universe is responsive. Everything that happens to us is a response from our own activity. That's what karma is. And it's a lesson to learn here and evolve to come to the point of understanding that Krishna is behind everything. We have beloved parents, and when they pass, we realize it was only a mask. That was Krishna. He gave us a guardian in this life. Otherwise, we're helpless. The little child comes into the world. Krishna's represented through the kind faces of our parents, hopefully kind. Otherwise, we have some carryover from last life. But he's behind it all. He's the mother, the father, the guardian. He's our everything. And if we come to a state of longing for shelter, and we realize that there is no shelter in this world except for Krishna. And Brahma, in his beautiful prayers to Krishna, says, Samashrita ye padapallava plavam mahapanam punya yasho marari vavam mudir vatsa param padam padam param padam yadvi padam natesham. Don't try to make your way alone in this material world. It's so dangerous. Just getting in and out of a rickshaw is one of the most dangerous things you can do, especially in the busy street. Or driving a car here in India. People don't know how to drive. They stop in the middle of the road, in the freeway, and get out. It's like, what to speak of safety belts? Don't even get me started. Everything's like that in the material world. It's all danger at every step. And Krishna is a shelter for the entire cosmic manifestation. We're his part and parcel. Of course he'll give shelter to us. So there are ways in which he gives shelter through his great acharyas, his pure devotees. And Rupa Goswami is known as the intimate knower of Lord Chaitanya's heart. It's memorialized in this verse that we sing often. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale. So in this world, Bhutale, Rupa Goswami established the path to follow Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How was he able to do that? Because Mano Bhishtam, he perfectly knew Lord Chaitanya's heart. We have some evidence of this from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila. You find at the very beginning, just after the Shivananda Sain incident, when Rupa Goswami writes a parallel verse, Soham Krishna Sahachari Kurushetra Militas. This is a verse he writes by his own hand, from his own heart, after hearing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's expression of separation from Srimati Radharani. He's singing as Srimati Radharani at the Ratha Yatra. And he sings a popular song it's not a popular song, but it's a secular song that's mentioned in some shastras that are meant for educational purposes. Ya komara harasa eva hivaras ta eva chaitra shapas te kon milita malati surabaya kadamba kandamila proda kadamanila. What is it? Sachaivasmita tatatapi suraba Vyapari lila vidam Reva rodasi vedasi tarutale cheta samutkantate. This is a song that you might hear on the radio, like a Taylor Swift song or something like that. And there was, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi at Rath Yatra, the biggest religious festival, well, second biggest in the world after Mahakumbh Mela. Millions of people come and pull the carts, bring Krishna back to Vrindavan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there as sannyasi, effulgent, and he's surrounded by these pure devotees, and he's singing this song. And people could hear him within earshot. They were thinking, what is this sannyasi singing? Only Swarup Damodar could understand, and then we find out later, Rupa Goswami could understand its meaning. It was a song about love and a woman who was married, and she's thinking back to a time when she first met her lover, who then became her husband, and pining for that time. Reva rodasi vetasi tarutale. On the banks of the river, there was a tree they were under, the moon was lit, and it felt so deep and romantic. And now things have changed. We're in a different place. We live in an apartment. Toaster's broken. Where is that feeling? And so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sang that, and Rupa Goswami understood it. So in Jagannath Puri, he wrote a parallel verse. Soham Krishna. Starts Soham Krishna, and it's about Srimati Radharani in Kurukshetra. You know that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 83 of the 10th canto, it's parallel with the Chaitanya Charitamrita's chapter about Rath Yatra. And there, Krishna has gone for the eclipse of the sun that's about to happen, predicted by the astronomers. And they will have a religious festival there. He came from Dwarka with his minions in great opulence with elephants and gilded chariots and soldiers, millions of them. Couldn't be more dramatic and opulent. And the residents of Vrindavan heard about Krishna's going there, and so they went there, their wagons filled with some milk products from Vrindavan. And thereafter, 100 years after Krishna had left Vrindavan, there's a meeting between Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And this song and the verse that Srila Rupa Goswami penned and wrote on a palm leaf, that's how they used to, that was their post-it notes back then. He wrote it, composed it to explain what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meant by singing that secular song during the Rath Yatra. What was his innermost feeling? What was the context of it? And it was that Srimati Radharani then came to Kurukshetra, which was a time when Krishna was in the garb of a king, a prince, king, opulent, surrounded by followers who were equally opulent. And then as they met, she said, not like this, only in the backdrop of Vrindavan, where Govardhan is there, the Jamuna is there, and I want you, but not here in Dwarka. It's not the same feeling. And so there's this meeting, and there's this feeling of separation even as they're meeting. So when Rupa Goswami wrote that verse, he was living in a thatched hut, and he put the little palm leaf in the roof. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came back from his morning duties, and he found this little flag sticking out of the roof, and he plucked it out. And he read the verse. And when he saw Srila Rupa Goswami, out of love, he slapped him. He said, "How did you know my heart?" And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was eager to introduce Rupa Goswami to Srila Ramananda Roy, Swarup Damodar, Sarvabhaumacharya. All the big devotees were there, and he said, here's Rupa Goswami, and he said, how did he know my heart? Swarup Damodar said, you must have empowered him to understand everything. And indeed, Rupa Goswami is our Acharya. He is known as Sri Rupa Manjari. And there is a way in which the Goswamis, although they have their eternal spiritual forms and services to Krishna in the spiritual world and to Srimati Radharani, they come in this world and they show practically how to perform devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada is taken from the teachings of Rupa Goswami, the Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, and he gave us the nectar of devotion. He gave classes here in Vrindavan for about 10 days on the nectar of devotion. And this is the source of our knowledge about how to move forward on the path of pure devotional service. And it's all following in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami. So we're known as Rupanugas, the followers of Sri Rupa Goswami. And especially here at the Radha Damodar temple, we can make prayers that we can be followers, have the strength of mind to overcome the onslaught of atheism and utter nonsense that is washing through the airwaves, through the streets. From town to town, people are in ignorance. And also, from here, we can remember Srila Prabhupada's impetus to go from this place as his base to the West and distribute Srila Rupa Goswami's teachings to the world. When we do that, we get special qualification to come back here and imbibe the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami. As it's said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shushusho Shradhanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Syan Mahat Seveya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevana. The more we serve the great souls, the more we develop a desire to hear about Krishna, and we make advancement in devotional service. This is a happening place during Kartik. It's always jammed, people coming around and around. And remember, from year to year, they have different programs here, but for many years in the courtyard outside, they have katha going on. And people naturally come and they just sit and listen for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and someone would speak about various pastimes of Krishna or philosophy. And we have some bhajan in between. And it's a sublime atmosphere. In many places, people flock to football games and they go to concerts. And they hear some sound vibration and they get caught up in the crowd. But they go away feeling agitated by the modes of rajas and tamas. But in Vrindavan, the festival is always going on. And we can come here and just be enveloped by the mood of festivity in all these temples, where everyone's coming to glorify Krishna, decorate Krishna, bring Krishna something. You can see, remember on Ekadashi mornings here, you go out as early as you want, and there's always somebody out there before you. And they're walking everywhere in Vrindavan with marigold garlands to offer the deities, because it's Ekadashi, and they know on Ekadashi, extra credit. So they're out early, 2:30 a.m., going to all the temples. And during Purushottam Mas here in Vrindavan, there's one coming up this year, sometime May, June. He's Mr. Purushottam Mas, Gopal. He comes to all of them. Even during the pandemic, he was texting me, "Hey Vaish, I'm walking around Govardhan Hill. Where are you?" We can't get in the country. And so, yeah, millions of people come here to come to see Krishna. And they're sweet. At Govardhan Hill, when we're there during Kartik, we put a table outside, there's Prem Vilas. He's a very large devotee. He lives in Columbus, Ohio. Imposing figure. And he's extremely enthusiastic for all devotional activities. Does anybody know Prem Vilas? And so he'd be out there distributing books, and people would stop on their trip around Govardhan Hill. There'd be like 40 people together in a group. They're all from the same village. And they look at Prem Vilas, they look at the books, and they tell him, "You come back to our village and be our guru." They're so soft-hearted. These are people who are the salt of the earth. No one knows about them in the world, in the cities. Everyone's running here and there and thinking that the next billionaire is some hero or some intellectual, so-called, who's propounding some new philosophy, is some heroic figure. But Krishna's attracted to village life. He's attracted to those who have a soft, simple heart, who simply appreciate the sound of his name, come seeing him with peacock feather. When we're in Navadvip, we go to see Dameshwara Mahaprabhu. And one time we were there, and Mahaprabhu wasn't wearing his hair. He just had a crown on. And there was a woman there from the village, and they come in, it's just like Mahaprabhu's their village hero, and he's just there. It's not like any reverence. She comes in, she's leaning, and she's saying, "Well, where's your hair?" She was saying in Bengali, and are you going to dress like this every day? She's talking to him. And in Govardhan, one of my godbrothers lived there for some time and was telling me how some Brijabasis invited him to their house for prasad, and he said their offering method is a little different than ours. They take the plate, they put it in front of their deity of Krishna, Giriraj Shila, and they go, "Eat, you eat, now you eat." That's their mantra, spontaneous. So Rupa Goswami gives us the steps by which we enter into this mood of Vrindavan. He talks about how the Srimad Bhagavatam takes us step by hearing and removing the obstacles from our heart. He talks about how anyone who takes to the path of devotional service will experience diminishment of distress immediately. One's auspicious life will begin. There's a sense of transcendental pleasure. And he talks about how pure devotional service, which is the goal of life, it's rarely achieved because most people are attracted to something else at the same time. Only those who come to asakti, or complete attachment to one thing, and that's Krishna consciousness, will come to prema. And he talks about those who become interested in Krishna and pick up the Vrindavan mood of worshiping Krishna. They hate the idea of liberation. After all, where will their eyes be to see Krishna and his beauty? Where will their hands be if they attain liberation and they merge with Brahman to offer Krishna a flower? And finally, he points out how pure devotional service, this mood that's here in Vrindavan, is the only way to attract Krishna. He's not attracted to anything else except for those who have pure devotional service. Yes, he responds to everybody, but he's only attracted to those who have this sense of pure devotional service. And where are we getting it? It's coming from Rupa Goswami. He's come from the spiritual world. He brings that fragrance of pure devotional service. But most importantly, he also shows us how we can enter into it step by step. The 64 items of devotional service. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught this, the 64 items of devotional service. And then he said there's 5 that are so potent that even if you follow them a little bit, and even if you don't have faith in them, you'll be successful in devotional service. How does that sound? You want the full 64 or you want the 5? So, worship of the deity, association with devotees, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, living in a holy place, and Hare Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna. These 5, he said, are so potent that even a little connection with them, even if you don't have faith in them, you'll attain success in pure devotional service. So we're going to continue our parikram. We're going to go around the corner and see if we can squeeze into Srila Prabhupada's room. We've fed as many as 400 people in there, so don't worry, we can get in. Just go in, offer obeisances, and then come out. That way everybody can go in. And then we're going on to Shri Radha Sundar. It's just up the street. He's in the neighborhood, so we go up the street there. And as a reminder, don't take any photos and be very stoic when you go into Radha Sundar, because they're a different mood there, the pujaris. They're very stern, and they don't want anybody goofing around. They don't want anybody singing, no microphones and no kirtan in there. Just go in, see the deities, and then we'll sneak out to the outer parts of the courtyard, and if we can get away with it without amplification, we'll sing a bhajan about Radhesham. Get ready for page 273. We'll sing that song. It's tradition. Okay? Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Srila Rupa Goswami, dear Sri Sanatana Goswami, dear 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, if you so desire, please let us carry on the tradition of spreading Krishna consciousness and taking it seriously, and prove the formula that was given by Srila Prabhupada from the 6 Goswamis, that anyone who follows this path will be empowered to reach the ultimate goal of life by their grace. Please let us be the poster children for the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, and also let us spread it all over the world to the most unlikely candidates, just to prove its potency. Everyone agrees with this prayer and is ready to give their lives for spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world, and at least taking up these 5 wholeheartedly. Please say Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Good, Prishni. Vanchakalptarusha kripasinabhe vichapatitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namahan anantakoti vaishnavini ki jai, Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai, Sad Goswami ki jai.